Sherman, we're going to take a look at your video from camp. I'm going to let it run a couple times and then let it run in normal speed and then slow motion. And then we're going to break it down, analyze, and make some comments and some suggestions for you.
Sherman Billie, year 2029. Absolutely.
Okay, Sherman, we're going to do some analyzing right now. I want to take this right back to the beginning. We always start you guys off. We try to get your name and your graduation. Then we have you jog into the game. So you do a great job right here hustling in. What also I like about you right off the bat, I can see you do some good checking on your target. Like right here as you're hustling in, you're getting ready to mark your spot. Right here, I can see right there, your head. I can see your head looking up at the target. You're checking it before you start marking your steps back. That's a really good job there. That just helps give you some, it's a checkpoint, helps you give you some accuracy when you're marking your steps back vertically. Um, what I've noticed here too, now once you're coming in, you're hustling in, and again, going back to the reason we have you hustle in, we want you to hustle in. It gives you plenty of time in a ball game or practice, whatever. Make it a habit to do this all the time. Hustle in so you can set your mark, set your spot there where you want to be kicking from, okay? It's whether placing the block down or kicking off the ground to use your foot to show the holder exactly the precise area you want the ball to be spotted. Okay, so you're doing a good job there. Now, right here, after you check your spots, so you got your feet side by side, you got your non-kicking foot slightly ahead right here, which is fine. You can either have it side by side, toe to toe, or slightly ahead like you have it there. If you want to mark it there, if you want to mark your left foot that way, that's no problem. And what I like too about it is you've done a really good job with your feet. They're just like right beside each other, right beside each other. That's really good because that's how you walk. You walk with your feet side. So when you start your steps back, you've already got them in that position. And then again, it's just another benefit of doing that. It's going to help you be more accurate when you make your steps back. Now, something you're doing a little different, and just think too here, Sherman, what we do when we're trying to coach you, we're just sharing knowledge that we've had over 40 years of running camps and seeing some of the greatest kickers and punters in football. And we've seen common denominators, common things that they all do that have made them so successful. So I'm going to share those with you. And not to say your way won't work, but to show you some things to think about, educate you, and then you can make some decisions for yourself, what's best for you. But right here, you're starting back with your non-kicking foot. You start back with your left foot. So you're stepping back. And it's a good step. Your steps, see, nice. Look how straight your steps are. It's good. And you're keeping this foot. What I'm looking for, too, is to make sure you keep this foot here in line with where the ball's going to be. And the other line I'm looking for is this right dead center of the target there. So you might be just, and again, the camera's positioned right behind you, but you might be just a little off here because you want to, where that target is, you want to draw a line right dead center to where the ball is and to where your foot is. So you might be, just be aware of that. That's what you're looking for. And that's how we try to position the camera behind you. So you might not, you're pretty close, but it's just a little something we got to just check on right here. Make sure you're not off just a little bit right here. So, again, it's kind of lining up, and it could be the camera because the reason I could say that is, we've got the ball spotted maybe slightly to the right, but you can see the gooseneck, the pad right around the post supporting the goalpost. So we'll kind of check that out, but that's what we're looking for. We're trying to make sure all these 3 points are all in the straight line. And you're pretty close, okay? You're pretty close right here. All right. Now, but going back to your steps, you're starting with your non-kicking foot. 1, 2, and you're taking only 2 steps back. And it's just evolved over the game of football. Kickers generally take 3 natural steps back, natural stride steps back. What I mean by natural, they're not too short, not too long. They're just comfortable, natural steps, as if you're walking backwards a long distance. You're just going to walk. It's just a nice, comfortable stride, as if you're walking forward. But you're walking backwards, and you're not reaching too far. You're not taking too small. It's just right. And so you're coming back, but I just don't think you're taking enough steps. And what I would recommend too is starting with your right foot, because everything's lining up. You're a right-footed kicker. Your alignment on this, especially the vertical, is depending upon your target, point of placement, and where your right foot is, your kicking foot. Now you get back there, so you go 1, 2, and right here now you've done a great job at this point getting your alignment, but right here you're in a hurry, so you don't even really check it. Now here, let me just show you. Here's what I'm looking at right here, and this is going to clear it up for us right here. Here's your target, dead center, right there, right above that pole right there. See it? Right there? Okay, and there's the football, and here's your foot. You want to draw a straight line to that, and right here we're not able to. You're kind of off just a little bit. Okay, it's subtle, it's nitpicky, but you want to be precise, because think of this, Sherman, you're always going to do this same stepping pattern that we develop here, and you polish. You're going to do that throughout your entire kicking career. When you're marking your steps off. So you ought to become very, very good at it. And I'm saying near perfect, near perfection every time. Because you're doing the same, steps, everything. And all we're trying to do with these steps is to get you in this spot over here consistently, that you're at the proper angle and proper distance from the ball. We're trying to get you in this same spot every time. And by doing this 3 steps back, 2 steps lateral, and utilizing these positions here, these sectors in terms of what you're trying to line up on, that's what we're trying to do and get you in the same position every time. So right here, so you start back with your right foot, then your left foot, then your right foot again, and then if you want to do that 4 steps back where you check your alignment, we'll talk about that here a little bit later for you. But right here, you're taking 1, 2, and then you're not checking. You should be checking, right? Pause right here, check your points. You've seen kickers on TV. They'll take that right hand, they'll raise it right above their right foot, run it and raise it right through the football and to their target to make sure all 3 points, again, all 3 of these points are on straight line. And then they'll bring their foot down. They'll bring their hand down, and then they'll start these lateral steps. So they'll raise that hand right here. They'll raise it up and just make sure these 3 points are in line. Then they'll lower that hand, with their arm. They'll lower it, and then they'll start their lateral steps. They'll do their 2 lateral steps. Right here, now you're doing your 2 lateral. You're doing lateral step. That's a little wide lateral step. And you know how I can tell? And it really makes it obvious to me. Of course, it just looks wide. But watch your head. See the soccer goal right here? What's the line right there? Watch when you go lateral. Watch how your head dips. Look how far down it goes. Of course, the camera goes up just a little bit on you, but that doesn't show it. But just kind of look at the reference there. See how your head dips? Your head's dipping right there. Right there. So your position in relation to that pole, that cross, that bar right here, your head's dipping because you're going too wide. See how it dips? And then let's see if you do the same. Now you've just taken 1 step, and then here's what you're doing. You got 1 step to get width, and then here's how you make up the extra step right here. This is what you do. So you're making up your width and your angle right there on that extra step. So you're getting kind of in the spot, close to the spot, but you're making up. So here you've done 1 step here, and then you make up the 2nd step by coming back to here. So it gets you your width again, and it also gets you your depth. See right here where you are. So you've got your depth and you've got your width. You've done it by sliding this foot back. So what I recommend to you, now you get in that spot, I'd recommend doing step back with your right foot, left foot, right foot, and then you can line them up side by side, check to make sure you're lined up. Get all 3 points lined up, and then you can take your lateral step. So just something to think about. And then again, this was early in the camp when we filmed you on kicking, and you've seen it. We've talked to you about it, and maybe you've adjusted. But not saying your way won't work. It's just a little different way of getting there, and I'm going to show you the way that I think is more efficient for you. Now I see you're moving, and you got a lot of movement. See, you're getting here, and then you're moving. So I don't think you're real exact here. You're just kind of sliding a foot back. I don't know what's determining. See, you can't. It's going beyond toe to heel. See, it's right here. There's where your heel. So you're going beyond. You're almost going like 2 foot lengths of back behind you. Okay. Now your position of your feet. I like this. You look pretty good here because this foot needs to be aiming right toward where the plant's going to be, and then this foot's going to be going right toward the ball. And you've got this foot turned. This being turned out is just natural. It's just more comfortable for kickers. It's just better to do it that way. It just works out pretty well. But this foot is your alignment foot. So you want to make sure that foot is aiming right toward there because that determines your whole stepping approach to the ball. And it gets your shoulders and everything going in that direction. Your hips, your shoulders, everything going in that same direction. So it gets your face in there. Here again, what's your head right here? You get in position. Look at checking the target out. Great job. Check that target out. The thing is here in your stance, see how you're moving that foot? That's wasted motion. We don't need to do that. You were good right here, and then you change it. Now you're not lined up. Now the foot's going over here. Okay? So right here you had it. Right there. That looks good. You're in your stance. You're much better stance right there. You want to look on a better stance, back of your head, back of your heel right here. Nice straight. You got a little bend in the leg right here. We want to kind of straighten that out a little bit. Just remember this back leg is just like a stabilizer. It's just right here. And it's just all it's doing is as you lean to your jab or your step, it just stabilizes your whole body as you go forward. It's not really, you're not pushing off of it. You're just leaning your body, and it's stabilizing you as you initiate your steps. Okay, so you can look pretty good right here, and then right here now you're starting to come back. Now your weight's on your back foot. You're up on your toe there, and now you start moving your arms. We don't want to move the arms. What happens? See, if you start moving your arms, what if he snaps the ball here one time, and then the next time he snaps the ball here, or he snaps the ball here? Just get your arms, just get them set. Again, right here is a pretty good position right here. You look pretty good right here, comfortable right here. And really, here's how your step's going to be. It's going to be like you want to be right here. It's going to be a jab step here. Let's see what you do here. You don't really take a jab because you don't have a whole lot of room because you're really not that far back. Now, this is pretty good here. See how you stabilize right here? Pretty good. It's kind of what I'm looking for here, but you still got a little bit of bend here, and you're kind of your head's kind of going over in front of your chest there. We want that chest sticking out a little bit. You kind of got your head kind of looking down. It's kind of humping your back right here, the top shoulders right here. So we want to kind of get that straightened out. But you're doing a pretty good job right here leaning. See that you want to lean. You want to lean right here, but I want your whole body to lean. I don't want your upper body to lean over. Get that head up. Get that head. Just get your head up and your whole body from the back of your neck all the way down to your heel. Your whole body is pretty much in a straight line right here. And then your whole body's going to lean as you begin that initial step. Okay, so right here, you take your first step here. You're just a two-stepper. If that's the way you want to do it, that's fine. There's your drive step, your plant step, and what we're looking for on the plant step. Good job with your arm here. Plant step, we're wanting to see you get that plant towards the target. Let's watch what you do here. You kind of over rotated that foot a little bit. See how it's going to the left. See how now I can see your foot going to the left. So you've kind of gone a little too far, and see how your heel, when you do that, look how your heel kind of slides in. See how it slides in? You're pretty good distance from the ball right here. The distance from the ball generally is just the length of your foot from the ball right there. That's it. And nobody can tell you precisely. They can say get a little closer, you might be a little tight. It's going to have to develop over time with you doing one-step kicks. One-step kicks are great without a ball, with a ball, to help determine and allow you to focus on some of these things, your plant, foot contact, follow through, and skip step. They're really good drills for that. So right here, You know, that plant step's getting a little, see, it's kind of pointing a little more over here. You can just see it right there. Okay, and you want that plant to generally, because it's going to be the initial placement of that plant foot's going to determine how the rest of the body, that's kind of like the guide for the rest of the body to generate all that power through that football in that direction. So that's the initial, you know, that plant helps determine where the rest of the body, as it completes the kick, directs all that energy towards that specific target. So that helps you there. You got that left arm, like I said, you're bringing it out. Now you're bringing that left arm. See how you're bringing it up? It's kind of high. I don't mind that so much, but I'd rather see you just take it right to the side, right here. Just take it right here. Just take it to the side. And if you're just you're making like a big circle and you're scooping right here. See, you're scooping. Get it right to there, and then just bring it right across your chest. Get it right to here, and just you work on this the best way to work on this is form kicks. Like we start camp, we put you on line and have you mark your steps laterally, and then just do some form kicks with the line, or just do form kicks without a ball, period, off at block, right where you are right here in this video. But you want to have that arm coming to the side, and then it's just going to come directly across your chest. You're taking it from here, you're scooping it down, and then coming back. So let's see where you finish up with it. And then you're finishing up kind of low, and you're humping over right there with your upper body right here, kind of leaning over, crunching we call it right here. See right there? You kind of right there. And part of that's because we've got to work on that skip step. So you've always, and you got this also. Look at your right arm. Look how you got it all bent and tight, and your fist is all tightened up. That right arm just needs to, right here. See where it is right there? Just let it lag. Just let it lay right there. Just let it hang just like it is. I call it lagging back. Just let it lag right there. All that is just serves. Just let it hang. Don't get it involved at all. Don't get any muscle movement, tightness or anything involved at all during this kick. Just let it kind of hang. It's just like a bounce from the back of your body. Let this left arm, your left arm is the counterbalance. See how it swings? It's simultaneous. The left arm counterbalances the leg swing. See how the left arm's moving with the leg? That's the counterbalance. But you're taking it, you're scooping right here. And part of the problem is this leg, once you make contact, and we want to hit that ball. Let's see, you're off a high block. You might want to consider a 1-inch block. You're kind of kicking off a high block, and plus you're off of a block and you've got your foot too far forward right here. When you're kicking, your foot's in the position as if you would be kicking off the ground, where your middle of your ankles, even with the middle of the football. So you're too far up. It's amazing you made this good a contact. You really did pretty good on the contact of the ball. I like this drawback right here. That's a pretty good job here. You can get a little more flexibility in your leg instead of here. We'll have that leg back a little bit more, add a little more power to that lever. But right here, you may want to consider just lowering the ball to a 1-inch tee, because your foot definitely is too far forward. Okay. And then if it's kind of like this, if the ball, your middle of your ankle is even with the middle of the football, generally when you're kicking off the ground, when you got a 1-inch there, it's going to be slid back just a little bit. Your plant foot will be back a little bit further, where maybe the middle of the football is in line with the front of the shin. And then you go back to a 2-inch, middle of the football aligned with the middle of the foot. So it just kind of, the lowering of the ball, the foot goes forward and a little tighter to it right there. Okay. So you're just a little too far forward. So right here, and then your foot right here, it's just, you're pretty good position there. But then you're having to come up to get that ball because it's so high right there. It looks like that front catches that. You catch it, and you kind of, it just looks like you're kind of getting that toe around a little too quick there, and you're kind of scooping. You caught the bottom of it. You did make it happen. It went straight, but you're just you want to kind of keep that foot basically in that position where the toe is slightly lower than the heel. They say that position, and you somehow scooped it in there and kind of got it, made contact, because it looks like it's hitting a little high up. Plus your foot's wrapping on a little bit, but it was enough to keep it straight. So you pulled that off there. But then right here, you're not skipping. Now see how your leg right here, once it swings through, ought to be going up towards your shoulder, your left shoulder. Right here, it starts, but then right when it gets to the waist, since you're not, this foot's turned out and you're not skipping here, and a skip means just you're going to be skipping in the general direction right there of the leg swing. Your leg swing, the energy is going there, your skip's going to go in that same direction. Since you're not skipping, this foot automatically starts coming across your body. See right there? And then it's in you're crunching over, and we call a crunch. A crunch is this part right here. You're crunching over, and you're dragging that foot, and then you're landing on your kicking foot right here. You should just skip right here, skip. This foot continues on up there. I don't want to see your foot. I don't want to see this kicking foot. I don't want to see it on the left side of your body. I want to see it come right up through here towards your shoulder. This skip's going to go in that same direction, but you don't skip. So when you don't skip, this foot, instead of going this way, it starts cutting across because it's got to get back to the ground, or you're going to lose your balance and fall on your face because you do not skip. So we got to work on that skip right here with that left foot, okay? So work on that. You're landing on your kicking leg, and that only happens generally when you're kicking off. So you're out of bounds, you're out of control right here, and you hit a straight ball, but you can do so much better. You just kind of catch it. Probably not a lot of power to it. You just made it, but we got to work on those fundamentals, okay? And I know you've gotten a lot better. This was early in the camp, and so I'm confident you've already worked these things out. And I'm going to, talk to you a little bit more about some alignment things here in just a minute. Great job at the camp, and keep working at it. Sherman, I'm going to talk with you about this ball foot contact right here. I'm going to kind of teach backwards here on this segment right here. I've got a comparison on this screen. The left picture is a guy who just finished a college career, very outstanding, great athlete, set all kinds of records, NFL potential type kicker, great technique. And I wanted to show some comparisons, so really make it clear to you some things we talked about at the camp and also on the earlier part of the video. So right here, I've got it frozen right about the same top position right where you guys are with the ball foot contact. Remember, I talked to you about your foot. See how straight his foot is going right toward the target? See how straight, see how yours is turning out right here? See, yours is turning out that way. You can see his arm. See how it's relaxed right here through the kick? See how your arm's all tensed right here. We got to relax that arm. Let that arm just lagging back. And also look at the foot contact right here. Now, he's kicking off the ground, and you're kicking off a block. And I want you to look closely now. Let me see if we can I'm going to lock this in. And I want you to look where your foot is and look where his foot is. You're kicking off a block, and he's kicking off the ground, and your foot's just as far up as if you're kicking off the ground. So you put yourself at a disadvantage there. So that's why I say you might just kind of take a happy medium. Instead of using that 2-inch block, let's go down to a 1-inch. Let's try that, and let's see if that'll help you a little more natural, because your plant foot's you're wanting to put your plant foot up a little further. And so we could try that just to see if that makes the adjustment. If not, you want to stick with the 2-inch, then we've got to get that plant foot back further. It's got to get back in here just a little bit further, okay? You're just too far ahead. And you can kind of watch, but the distance from the ball looks pretty good, except for your heel right here. See, watch it slide. See how it slides? It's going, you're turning it in too much. It's kind of turned in. It's like landing here. And then right when the toe hits, you've just got your foot. You can just see your toe right there. You got it that way. We've got to have it this way. Okay? Ball contact right here. You can see, again, you're on the upswing, but you see how his foot, he's got that toe slightly below the heel. That's great position right there. He kind of touches that inside of his toe on the inside of the foot. You can see where he taps that top of that field turf a little bit. That's common. You want to minimize that as much as possible, but he's really getting under that ball. He's hitting that ball, but he's got good contact right here. And you're finishing there as he comes through. Your foot's going to come up just a little bit, kind of like his is, but yours has just come up too much. I think you've got to keep this toe down. Don't let that toe get up there so much. And again, look at the distance and look at how close, look where his foot is, the center of his football on that ball. And look at yours. See, here's your foot here, and you've kind of got, you're up on that ankle. See how you're up on that ankle, and look at his comparison right there. So again, I talked about this, you've got your foot kind of scooping around that ball. So by the ankle and the scooping, you've allowed to keep that thing in the center, and you were able to get a successful kick. But that's not going to happen very often, buddy. You're going to have to straighten that out a little bit, okay? Work on that. Work on football placement. Have better contact. Once you get that T situation and get this plant foot, it'll start helping clear things up. And the best way to do the best drill, I'll go back to it again, is the one step. Do some air kicks, dry kicks, whatever you want to call them, where there's no football, and then come back and do those one step kicks. Basically, that's 2 steps back, 1 step over, and then you're going to align from there. The drill we did in the camp, which I'm confident you know. And then go ahead and work on that and focus on ball contact, skip, follow through. It just allows you, that drill allows you to really work on that. Now we're going to back this thing up. Let's go ahead and watch the follow through here. Now watch the skip step right here. See, again, it's obvious right here. Look at your foot. It's obvious right here. Look at this foot's turned out. And then look at your upper body right here. See, you're in pretty good position here. Look at his head. Everything right. Watch his head. Everything right here. Your head. There's some similarities. But watch his arm. See, he takes his arm out and then he goes right across. See where he finishes with that arm? And this is all right. You can either have the arm here, have it here, but the finish is crucial. You want to finish right up in this area. So if he starts a little low here and he finishes high, that's a good. Or he starts right here and finishes laterally, that's good. But you're kind of going down. So we need to watch this. So watch his arm. You're just going way down. He's just taking his to bring it across his chest. See right there? And I don't even see yours. And then look at your upper body starting to kind of lean forward and crunch. See, he's not crunching. He's allowing his hips to go through. Watch his upper torso turn. And yours is turning, but look how you lose control. And watch his skip step right here. His leg is going right up to his left shoulder. His skip step's going to go in that same direction. Watch his skip step. See his leg? See, look at your foot. Look at his foot. Look at your foot right here. Look at the differences. Watch his leg continue. See, it's going up now. It's right under here. Yours is already going right across. Yours is starting to come across your body here. So right here, he continues up. You don't even see his kicking foot again because watch how he skips. And he's just allowing all of his momentum to go. And so you're totally out of control right here. So I want you to really work on finishing it and do it without the football. Go through form. Take advantage of this video. This is quality video that gives you a visual of what we're teaching you, and it gives you the visual of how you need to conduct that kick, perform the kick, and how you need to complete it and focus on the finish. Look how smooth he is on the finish. Look at this. He finishes. The torso rotates under his neck and head, and look how he stays in position. Look how he finishes right there. I want you to work on this finish just like he does right here. Focus on this. It's going to change things in your game, buddy. It's going to make total difference in your game. It's going to give you more confidence, control, and it's going to give you more power and consistency. So really focus on that, okay? We'll focus on that finish right there. Okay, we're going to back up here. We'll go back to the very beginning on your alignment. I'm going to show you some things here. I want you to watch him right here on the left here. I'm going to have to unfreeze this thing here. I'm going to go here. I want you to watch him right here as he marks his steps off. Okay, similarities right here. Get you up here. Okay, here we go. Right there. Right there. Now look at his position, your position. I told you I don't really care if he keeps his toes pretty close together, feet, but your feet are in pretty good position side by side. Pretty good. I like the separation between your feet. That's good. You've got your foot a little further ahead than he does, but watch how he takes his steps. I'm going to have to shrink it just a little bit so you can see this. But watch how he begins his steps back. 1, see, he starts with his kicking foot. 1, 2, 3, and he takes the 4th step. And this is where he's checking. All he's doing right here, Sherman, he's just checking to make sure this foot, the ball which is in front of his hip, and the target, all 3 points are in the straight line. He's checking it. He's pausing there. Once he checks it, watch him what he does here. See, he's checking it. Now right here, he brings his foot back. He's already checked it. See, look at his eyes. Look at the goalposts. He's checked it. He's right lined up just right. He brings his feet side by side here. Now watch how he precisely takes his lateral. Look at his lateral step right there. And again, you start with the opposite. So we want to get that corrected. Now here's where you should have checked them right here and right here. And see, you can't, I could tell you're like, this leg hasn't even, It's not even down yet. You're just kind of going through the motion here. But check it, but I want you to look at your lateral step here. Look how wide your lateral step is compared to his. And I can see your foot kind of aiming right there. And this foot's turned out. He keeps his feet straight straight down the field, straight toward the target. And then watch his second lateral step. Watch his second lateral step. There's his next one. It's just like, it looks just like the first one. That's exactly what you want to do. Look at his feet. They're exactly in the same place. 1, 2. Now he's got, not only now does he have the proper distance from the holder, the point of placement, but he's got the proper angle and width that finishes the alignment. Everything's based off of these points right here. Okay, and he's staying with a 90. This is the 90-degree angle right here. So he's staying disciplined with that 90, and that'll put him in a precise spot right here by doing consistent lateral steps to the ball every time. Okay, so he gets there. Now watch what he does right here. Okay, I'm going to look at your lateral. Now here's your lateral. You only did 1. And then he takes 2, and this is what I want you to consider changing. And watch what he does. He'll bring this foot back. He's got this foot aligned right here toward where it's going to plant, which is what you do initially. Right there, you have it right there. You've got it. So you're pretty close to him right there. Look how close you are to him. You're just not far enough back. And then watch, he'll bring this kicking leg. He'll get it, kick the ground. That's his little thing. He'll kick the ground. Now he's getting himself in his stance. He's now in his stance right now. He's in his stance. And see how you're not really in your stance. And look at his leg from the back of his neck, back of his heel. Look at that alignment. You've got a little bit. He's got he's got a little flexion right there, and that's fine. You just got a little more of a bend here. But then you're kind of here. Your angle's not correct here because you get the foot out. Watch how you move the foot right here. See, the foot's there. And see, you're really not even in a stance now. So here's the comparison in terms of, here's your stance. Here's your stance, and there's his stance. You need to get in a stance like this. Your feet are pretty close. You're actually, like I said at the very beginning, you're closer here to being exactly in the right stance right there. Really, just get to there. That's it. You're really close. You still just got to get this kind of straightened out, just because you're leaning. So let's get that more straight, and that gets your chest out. And then keep this angle right here and have most of the weight on this front foot. Okay, now watch him right here. He's right here looking. He's in his stance right here. Now watch his head. The holder's looking at him, but watch his head. See his head right there? Glance at the target. He's checking his target. He's in his stance. He's checking his target. Now he's going to bring his head back to the holder. The holder now knows he's ready, and the holder turns and calls for the snap. And the moment that ball comes, the kicker, and this is what you'll do, you're looking for this arm. You're watching this arm. The moment this arm goes up, you know the ball's coming. The arm goes up because the holder's getting ready. The moment that arm comes up, simultaneously, you're going to lean. See how the kicker leans? The arm comes up. Watch the kicker's body. The moment that arm, see the kicker lean? Then he goes to a jab step. I'd recommend a jab step. And now look how straight this is right here. This is what we're looking at. He's just gone from here to here. He's here to here. Look how he is right there, body position. So it's what you right here. You're not doing a jab step. You don't have to, but I'd recommend it. It just helps you transition your energy as you transition, and it transitions right into your stride, as opposed to, but you're so close, you probably feel like you don't need a jab step. So you got to work on that. So here's, you're not taking a jab step. You get close, but there's where you are right there. But watch what this jab step allows him to do. Just smooth. Watch how smooth he goes right there, and he goes right into that step. It really enhances that second step. It makes the transition smooth, as opposed, you're kind of like gathering yourself. You're trying to gain momentum because you're not jabbing and you're not far enough back. And the jab step will help you just flow into that kick better, okay? You get a better drive step. It'll just help you tremendously. Now I'm going to let you watch this entire sequence again with him. So last viewing right here before we wrap up the video. Here he is. He's checked the target. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's making sure those 3 points are aligned. His foot, point of placement, and the target. Then he brings his foot back up. He's taken 4 steps back to get to here, but then he puts his foot back, so he's only taking 3 steps back. He's 3 steps back. He's going to do 2 comfortable lateral steps. Need you to do 2 comfortable lateral steps, not too long, not too short, just comfortable. Get in this position. Now you got this foot. Your left foot's aiming toward the point, toward where it's going to be planting. This foot's aiming right toward where it's going to be planting. Right here, this foot's going to go right to the ball. So this foot, get it right to where it's aimed right there to where it's going to plant. Get those shoulders, get everything aligned in that same direction. Everything's going in that same direction. Check your target. Your weight's over your front foot, most of your weight's there. As that arm comes up, the ball's coming. You're going to lean to your jab, drive step, plant, kick, and focus on the finish. Study this film, Sherman. Keep working on it, buddy. Great job at the camp.